Should COVID-19 vaccines be mandatory? Are you pro-vax or anti-vax? Regardless of your answer, how do you feel about the government regulating your personal choice on your medical care? Given vaccines have been proven to be effective in preventing many deadly diseases such as meningitis or septicemia, but what about non-deadly diseases such as COVID-19? Is it beneficial to enforce a vaccine on an entire population of people with varying health concerns and beliefs? America provides as a safe haven from religious persecution, meaning that we're all free to have our own beliefs. So, if someone doesn't believe in vaccines, does requiring them to have one go against our own constitution? In many places, it's common that in order to enroll your child in school, they must have basic vaccination records. But what about workplaces requiring adults to do so as well? We are supposed to be protected by HIPAA law, a stipulation that states that we have the right to keep our medical records private. As we go farther into 2021, it seems as though mandatory vaccination cards for the COVID-19 virus is inching closer. I've been researching the pros and cons to vaccination, and I have a few good points that I would like to bring up so that you can make your own decision on how you feel, if you're ready to be vaccinated, or if it's even necessary for you. Because that's how the vaccine should be, a personal choice. So, problems and harms for requiring the vaccine. Making the COVID vaccine mandatory for everyone is not only politically risky, but it's dangerous. Something that you should know is that certain individuals, for example, people who are immunodeficient, cannot take vaccines because it would be simply detrimental to their health. As it stands, all 50 states require children to be vaccinated by the age of 5 to enroll in public school. All states have an exemption on medical grounds, and almost all states grant religious exemptions as well. Few states even grant exemptions for philosophical or moral or other beliefs. The issue is not whether the government will force people who medically can't take vaccines to receive a prick in the arm, as that will likely not happen. The issue is how they choose to enforce it. As 2021 comes to a wrap and states start to reopen, it seems that there's more and more talk about mandatory vaccination cards. This is harmful because not only is this a direct violation of HIPAA law for the general population that, for the most part, doesn't have major medical concerns, but people who are unable to be vaccinated will begin to be alienated. Are they now going to be faced with revealing private and maybe sometimes embarrassing information? Medical information? All at the mercy of an employer that might feel that they're a liability anyway? Being unable to get a job or go to school, the basic fundamentals of life demonstrated by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, is unfair and scary for anyone facing religious or medical concerns. One doctor from the University of Sydney, Dr. Julie Leask, said on the topic of basic vaccines required in children to go to school that there needs to be a requirement that encourages parents to get their children fully vaccinated. But there needs to be exemptions for people that don't vaccinate. It should be harder to get an exemption than to get a vaccine. We must be able to have options to protect those that either can't be vaccinated or feel very strongly against it. For whatever reason that may be, religious, moral, or personal belief. Professor Omer goes on to state that this is the most ethical option, explaining that this strikes the balance between individual autonomy and community benefit of vaccines. So what's next for people in this scenario? I know. Maybe we should force them into quarantine camps or make them wear a little symbol on their shirt or their clothing. Sound familiar? I want to say that the main reason this is such a hot and controversial topic right now is due to the fact that, unfortunately, people are sheep. Relentlessly and strangely aggressively absorbing everything that they hear and see in the mainstream media, and news outlets. People feel so strongly about the safety and efficacy of the vaccine because they see their favorite celebrities pushing it on Instagram. Without looking any further into the facts, celebrities posting this and pushing this narrative on social media gives people a false sense that they represent the overall population, and they don't. Most people don't think twice about the source that they get their news from, the bias or the political agenda motivating the light they shine the information given to you. People blindly accept everything that is fed to them, eating it up without thinking twice about the narrative that they're being sold. Candace Owens pointed out in one of her latest Welcome to Candace segments that with all the stigma, misinformation, and unclear answers being given out, is it any wonder why Americans are reluctant to receive it? So steps that people can take to eradicate this risk are, I want to say, without getting too controversial or too political or getting too deep into the "that's what they want you to believe" storyline, I urge you to double check your facts and question everything. Listen to things from a different perspective with an open mind, and be open to the possibility that information is being given to you to make you feel a certain way instead of know certain things. Candace Owens talks about this a lot in her segments, stating that it's pretty incredible to consider right now that governments are like, in order to keep you safe, we need to impoverish you, imprison you, force masks on you, force vaccines on you, plus separate you from your family. And there's just millions of people out there that are just like, okay. With Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter censoring users in the wake of the last election, it's not a far cry from reality. It's the truth. She continues, we also need to censor and control the flow of all information you receive for your safety, right? Think about it. Overall, it doesn't matter if you are pro-vax or if you are anti-vax. If you feel the need to vaccinate, you have the right to do so. But what we do not have the right to do is to take away the rights of others whose beliefs are not in line with your own. Our forefathers came here and established this country on the basis that we all get to be free of persecution for personal beliefs, nevertheless alienate people over medical concerns. This is what makes our country America.